Hello everyone! Welcome back for more Let's Play Breath of Fire, what should be the finale. We've gone through, well, with this last place, we've gone through Goda, we've gone through Jade, and now we have a girl standing here in the middle of some type of cross. Sure, let's have a wish granted. And we are lucky enough, she will heal our wounds. Now, I don't know if that actually recovers AP or not, that's why I use the stuff. But, then why are you here? And why do you have your sword out? And she's going to sit there crying at us. Let's actually show them off since we've got them. First, the flame hammer. We're going to show that off. And basically because this doesn't do anything to us at all. There's absolutely nothing that's going to go on with this boss. Except, see, flame hammer does that. Star hammer does this. So for now, we can just sit here and do this. Don't burn anything on this fight because this is a non-fight. Take it down to red health. And we finally get the name Tyr. I haven't done anything, don't hurt me. Huh. I'll do anything, please be my friend. Okay, we'll be friends. Except Sarah I don't know how Sarah has the ability to do this. Maybe she's a force ghost. But yeah, basically use Agni. She'll reveal her true self. I've done nothing! So yeah, what you have to do, you actually have to burn, you have to turn on Agni here. What everybody else does for this exact spot means absolutely nothing. Because now we're actually going to get some fight. We're going to get a little bit of fight back from her, but not much. Once we pop her with Agni, Tyr finally decides to stop fooling around. And yeah, we finally get to see Tyr's ultimate form here. So, we know the drill by now. The only difference here is Tyr doesn't actually have Shock or Thunderbolt. You can defend, you can defend. You can use Fort X. So we pull Agni back out because this is how we fight this boss. And every boss since we got Agni, really. We have Big Crash, which we'll do about 70. I'm just going to auto-battle because at this point, as long as I have 200 some odd hit points, that this battle's not going to go south. So the goddess is intrigued at the second wind. Goddess's second wind is somewhere north of 35,000 hit points, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to have to sit here through 35 some odd rounds. And just keep an eye on the hit points. When the hit points start to dip, break out of auto battle. Break out of auto battle long enough to use a cure. A little poison gas cloud that does 42. We're just going to keep dealing 1,000 points at a time. The goddess will break eventually. That's why we have two. That's why we came into this place with 2 full stacks of cure. But yeah, once I get down close to 200, then that's when I go ahead and break the auto battle. Damage get cured. Back in auto battle. So yeah, sadly, the boss fights in this game they just don't tend to do much. It's kind of a running theme throughout the game, as I'm sure you've noticed, that most of the boss fights are just against enemies with just huge sacks of hit points. And they don't throw in too many twists like, oh, you got to avoid attacking the boss on certain turns, or the boss is going to one-shot you and you better be prepared to deal with it. That doesn't happen a whole lot. You do not get many twists and turns with the bosses in this game. Tear here will fall eventually. It may take another cure or two. She's throwing a lot more big crashes at me than she did the past couple times I remember doing this. Which means my hit points go down faster. But I am prepared for that. And this is why you want Agni instead of keeping the full team there. Because, well, let's face it, that big crash hits everybody for a decent amount of damage. So you would want to make sure you need to keep people healed. Now slam. Slam's a good one. Yeah. When you slam us. Yeah. Picked a good time to slam. Say that. You know, I know Tyr's supposed to be like the ultimate dark dragon or something like this. It just looks like that's a bunch of earthworms. Earthworms with needle fangs. That's really all I see when I look at Tyr. Too bad the slam on our end doesn't do anything extra. Ah, there we go, finally. As I say that, we get a slam on the final hit. It still wasn't going to do extra damage, but, you know. And yeah, this is only temporary. We have put an end to Tyr's shenanigans for the time being, but, oh god, the floor's disappearing again. Hey, you gonna move? You actually gonna do anything about, but you're just gonna stand there? You're just gonna stand there. That's a plan. I don't think it worked any better this time. Except for the fact that several people from Winland were waiting around to catch us. I don't know why they were waiting around to catch us, but they were. And Sarah spends her final moments as a Force Ghost, which we thought we've seen that happen twice now. And there is no music here. It's weird. Why is there no music here? And her planet needs her again. And the Dragon Lord even pops in to go, "Hey, good job. I'll remember this." And yeah, Ryu gets to basically clean up the mess. And Gobi still wants to remind you still owe him 1,000,000 gold. We almost have 1,000,000 gold now. And Nina isn't going to quite leave us just yet. But with that done, it is now time for everybody to part and go their separate ways. First, Nina flies us around on a world tour. It's a short world tour. First, we see Mogu off as he works to learn the art of being a master digger. And gets dizzy doing it. We march across the sand. Put Blue back in Wisden. We drop back by Gant, as Ox prepares to be a father. Run back by Prima so Gobi can set up his shop, where we will never visit him again. I don't want to pay that much money. And then back to the town of Bleak so Karn can resume his life as a master thief. And then all the way back here near Camlin. Well, near Camlin, that's... Dang it, I can't remember the name of that town, but it's the one that had the sister town that was destroyed by a robot. And then we walk all the way back to Winland. Nina waves goodbye to us as Ryu heads back towards Drogon. Who are finally back at work trying to rebuild the town, now that there is no Dark Dragon Overlord to worry about. And Ryu sees his sister in the sun. Probably looked a bit too long and now needs eye surgery. But that was Breath of Fire. There we go. This is one of the more popular RPG series out there, and this is where it started. So what can I say about this? Boy, it's rough it's a rough first game at times. They did re-release this for the Game Boy Advance with several quality of life features like a run button. overall, it's not a bad game. It's good for a first attempt, I would say. I mean, it's not the first RPG Capcom made. Capcom did make a survival horror RPG in Sweet Home, which I've Let's Played on my channel a very long time ago. But, yeah, it's not their first attempt to make an RPG. And it shows that they've learned a few things, but it also shows that they have a long way to go to learn to actually make. Yeah, freaking Ted Woolsey. Hey, you are either famous or infamous, depending on who's talking about you, aren't you? You and your Woolseyisms. But yeah, this game is not terrible. It's kind of limited, I will say that. There's not a lot of side content to worry about, and the side content isn't overwhelmingly complex or involved. I think the most complex side bit would be, well, probably the flea market. And as long as you know, as long as you can figure out when the breakpoints are for when it switches over to the new stocks, the new list of items, you kind of get through that. You kind of figure that one out fairly quickly too. But yeah, there's a lot of cliches here. But in saying that, also realize that they weren't cliches when this game came out. Not yet. JRPGs hadn't quite had the volume of entries that they have these days. So a lot of the stuff you're seeing here was new. By now it's cliche. But yeah, this may not be where it all started, but it was for Capcom, in a sense. In that this would prove popular enough to span several sequels. And again, it was popular enough to see remakes of the first two games they made on the Game Boy Advance. I'd be kind of interested to see what they could do with this if they managed to get Square involved and got a hold of their 2D HD system, or HD 2D, whichever way that goes, that they've been using for games like Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, that type of thing. I would love to see what could be done with this. But it doesn't seem like Capcom has any interest whatsoever in actually doing that, which is very sad. Oh well. But that is Breath of Fire. I will be back eventually with Breath of Fire 2, if not immediately. It just depends what I feel like recording next. And I don't know if I want to jump right into the next Breath of Fire game. But we will see. But that will be for later. As of now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are enjoying 13 Sentinels, which should be going up alongside this by now. Because 13 Sentinels, it's kind of a trip, and I'm not exactly sure what part of 13 Sentinels will be up after this. I just know we should be past the prologues. Of course, I'm saying this, and it is literally March when I'm finished recording this. It's also March when we're recording the start of 13 Sentinels, too. Yeah. And neither of these are going up until May. Go figure. But yeah, that's enough rambling for me. So, yeah. Again, I hope you all enjoyed this. What will I be back following this with? Who knows? Maybe Broken Sword 2, maybe Breath of Fire 2, maybe something completely new. But it will be something. So until then, take care everyone.